And I know you've been really excited about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm really excited about.
And the podcast that we're gonna do soon with the other history, so that's gonna be fun as well. But I've been waiting for this one for a couple of weeks now.
So I
So
cannot wait to get into it.
And jumping in. Yeah, Shay, we talk about video games a lot, specifically flight simulators, and I was
Mm.
thinking about how, I go back to the old, I guess it was what was the version of Microsoft Flight Simulator before the new one?
I think it was just called Flight Simulator, the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
What
Yeah,
year was that?
1980s.
It was the 80s. Um,
My my
With
version
Doc.
was newer than that. My version that I did was the one before the new one.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Because now the graphics are like completely out of this world.
it it really is. It's quite incredible, actually. Like I was so uh flabbergasted. I was actually so excited to get the 2024 version, and I never really played uh any of the older versions. I always saw videos of funny videos where someone would go on and like be the air traffic controller, and he would like make fun of all the other
Mhm.
people because he would try to like do it like it's real life, but he like
Mm,
had fun with it.
yeah.
Oh, it's some of the funniest stuff ever.
So there was a little trolling going on there, if you will.
Oh
Mm,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I did. I mean, I would do, the version that I had. It was X Flight Simulator X was the version that I had.
Oh yeah.
oh.
So I don't know what year that was, but I would do, the Piper Cub, and you could go to your home airport. You could go to any airport in the world, and I would sit there for hours and do touch and goes in a Piper Cub, and then I would
Hmm.
try to fly a helicopter with miserable results.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And uh I've definitely had my fair share of crashes and trying to play with like doing it as mice with mice or controllers and which one's better. Um, for me, I could never do the mouse and keyboard. Um, I would love to try the joystick with the actual throttle. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's
That's what I had was a joystick with the actual throttle
yeah,
where you could, and that was ideal for a Piper Cub, of course.
yeah. Oh, 100%.
And that's exactly what we are talking about here on episode 79 of the History of Aviation podcast. And first off, joining us once again, Mr. Julien Martinson. He is, if for the people listening, he is rocking a really cool aviation vest.
Hey, hey guys, how's it going?
Doing
Great.
pretty good.
Good, good, good.
And we're also joined by Mr. Shae Jones, producer extraordinaire.
Hello,
How's it going,
hello.
Shae?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Week 4. Not muted.
There you
Get
go. And I know you've been really excited about this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I'm really excited about this one and the podcast that we're gonna do soon with the other history. So that's gonna be fun as well. But I've been waiting for this one for a couple of weeks now, so I cannot wait to get into it.
And jumping in, gosh, the birth of the flight simulator was in the World War
Mm-hmm.
II era. I did not know that.
Right? My gosh,
You know,
that's so insane.
so you could imagine, Julien, living in that time where this is something you're seeing to learn how to fly and practice your flying.
Well, so it all started also with the birth of flight. So the birth of flight and flight simulator also started around the same time in the 1930s with the link trainer, the OG flight sim used in World War II. And they had mechanical simulators were revolutionary for pilot safety and training. And did you know that over 50,000 Allied pilots trained using these devices even in those days? So that's is an indication that flight simulators have been around for a long time for pilot training, and they're still being used today. And they've evolved a lot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna just let Derrick talk a little bit about how they've evolved since the 1930s and what they were like in the 80s.
About Microsoft Flight Simulator. You're talking about 80s and 90s graphics. They were really on the move then, right?
Yeah, and that's with any sort of video game type simulation. Anytime you're in that era, the graphics are always like, "Oh my gosh, the graphics are incredible!" And they always come out with newer and better graphics too.
And then you look back, on what we see now, and in my background is a image of a it looks to be a Cessna, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure somebody will correct me on that if I'm wrong, but this is the graphics we see now in the new version, which is what, the 2023.
20 like yeah, so it came out with 2020 and then 2024 and then 2025.
Right, and then Microsoft Flight Simulator X, which we was talking about, before the show started. That's the one that I really messed around with, and I think that was pretty much an evolution too, wasn't it, Shae? Where you could basically free flight, where
Mm,
you pick
yeah,
your plane, you pick your airport, you pick your weather. You could make it rain, you could make it thunderstorm, you could make it
yeah,
windy, and I don't know if versions, and you may not know either, but I don't know if versions before Flight Simulator X had that capability.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Let me show you this right here. This is a little video I found of the World War II trainer. Look at that thing.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? And now, of course, if you see my
This,
mouse here, this part piece like really got updated now. They've used that in like car simulators and aircraft simulators and all sorts of crazy stuff. And they went even to like make it like almost aerodynamic to the best of their ability too. Like
Mm.
that's insane. I love that.
So, Derrick, can I tell you something?
Sure.
Back in the early 90s, my dad had a computer and we had a flight simulator. And so I went to the office and he would turn on the flight simulator and I had to um, navigate the plane with a mouse and a keyboard, and I'd make a pre-board announcement, get everybody sitting nicely as if they were sitting in the chair. And I was lucky if that plane stayed in the air for about 20 seconds
right.
before the thing ended up crashing. But actually, as a matter of fact, my flying skills have improved a lot, at least within the context of a flight simulator. During my courses at Georgian College, we had to take a course on navigational aids. And so it discussed the evolution of runway markings and wind and navigational equipment. And part of the course required us to work on a flight simulator, also on a computer with a joystick and so forth. And
Yep.
you're able to select your aircraft and your airport. And so the mandate was to go down the runway and then climb at a certain altitude and then take a left-hand turn and a left-hand turn, a left-hand turn, go around in a circle, and then land again. A very, very simple route. And I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. However, my strengths are more in airline and airport management concepts, not the technical part of flying. But the instructor here was a pilot, and so the idea was to give the students a rounded education. So you have to have a little bit of airplane knowledge, because that's what aviation's all about, anyways. But
This
since
is a
then,
wing.
well, yeah, and
Right.
so since then, the flight simulators have changed and evolved a lot, and so now they have these $500,000
Oh
flight
yeah.
simulators used by the industry, and they actually have designated flight simulator trainers that are trained exclusively to train on those flight simulators with pilots. And so they'll come in and train the pilots on their annual recurrent training on these flight simulators. And I
Yeah.
think they have training like that in Alcoa, do they not? Do they not have a big training facility there in Alcoa?
Sirius Aircraft does. I think. Did you drive by there when you were in town and take a look at that neat stuff?
Yes, I did actually. I thought I saw one of those big flight simulators in the window, and also here in Kelowna at the Center of Excellence, they have a flight simulator that's been decommissioned, and so now it's part of the museum for the kids to play around with, but it's non-operational, and they also have a cockpit from a decommissioned aircraft. So they pulled the cockpit out and put it in the museum, and the kids can go up the little stairs and sit in the cockpit and play with the buttons and stuff. And so that's kind of gives them that feel of what it's like to be in a cockpit and what flight simulation is all about. So the whole concept of flight simulator has really evolved a lot and significantly from the 80s, and now with the new computer software, they're very realistic. So
They are.
yeah,
And at home, I have the joystick that's with the throttle built on it, but I
yeah,
know too, guys, you can get on Amazon and go nuts. You can get the yoke, you can get the rudder pedals, you could get the instrument panel, all the throttles, and have
yeah,
all that hooked up to your computer. And you can
yeah,
have three, four. I suppose you could have as many monitors as you want, but you have to take
yeah,
that realism home like that. That would be. I know there's a lot of
yeah.
people out there that does it, and if anybody out there does do that, send us in the comment section. Send us a photo of your setup. We'd love to see your setup.
For sure.
That is cool. This is one I'm going to share my screen here. I want to see if I can show this photo. But this is I want something like this right here. This is really cool. Look at that setup.
Oh wow.
I would suggest start saving up now.
Yeah.
Or 10 or
And if you can
10 years ago maybe.
right,
Yeah,
and well, it's not really zooming in, but if you look down here, this seat goes forward and backward. I can't
yeah.
tell if it goes side to side at all, but they do
Mm.
make them so that they actually are like motorized, and they will do whatever you want. That is an extreme setup.
Yeah, that sounds like a really
You
high
know,
end.
it's crazy. This whole thing right here on my mouse, that is a graphics card. That whole thing is a graphics card.
Oh
That's
yeah,
And how
insane
much?
to get
How
on.
much does
Yeah.
this thing cost?
Oh God, it's. I'm sure the whole thing is easily $5,000, if not more.
Yeah, yeah, I think so for sure.
You know, I mean, look at that. I mean, where you got to go somewhere special to buy that stuff, right here.
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah,
heads up display and all that.
yeah.
This is like a extreme prosumer setup. That's
Yeah,
insane, but I
that's
love it.
wild.
I love every second of it.
There you
That's
go.
insane. Yeah.
So yeah, getting into wrapping things up, I'm gonna jump into final thoughts first, starting with your Julie.
Okay, so just there's some resources that I would like to mention just before we wrap up. We've got the Microsoft simulator that's available on the Osbo Studios, and there's also a link trainer history at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, the X-Plane by Laminar Research, and there's a digital combat simulator by DCS World, and there's also the Pilot Edge at VATSIM, that's the online ATC simulation. So they have simulators for pilots and for air traffic control. And so for all budgets and all interests, there are flight simulators available. And so if you find something that works for you or something that you aspire to upgrade to, I'd like to hear from you because I want to know what's going on in the world of flight simulators.
Yeah. And just to kind of pay homage to what you were just talking about, like how real it looks. I wanted to share this because ignore the person down in the corner, but I mean, look, that almost looks real. Like if you look at it quickly, like it looks real almost. I mean, look at that.
Yeah,
You
that's
can be
amazing.
the passenger, you can be the
Yeah.
pilot now. Like the it's endless. The opportunities to some of these things are endless.
Yeah, it is wild, and there are some kind of with I know specifically Microsoft Flight Simulator, the newest version. I know there's some pretty hefty system requirements for that, Shay.
Oh gosh, yeah. It definitely is. So I have just found, as we were talking before, that my computer might not be up to snuff when it comes to that. Um, so if I do this here, 2025 Microsoft uh, Flight Simulator, you can find out exactly what it needs. Flight Simulator requirements. There we go. Well, if you have a console, you don't really need much, but you just get the console and then it works. So according to what I'm seeing here, um, you definitely going to need Windows 10 or more, 10 or higher. You definitely want a multi-core computer, Ryzen 5 or higher, which would be the graphics, the GPU, and at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is the onboard memory. The higher the better. When it comes to RAM and stuff like that, the more gigabytes you have, the better it is. Now, the other thing that's interesting with this, and this gets more into the video game style of things, but everything now requires internet, which can be extremely frustrating, but you definitely are going to want internet because a lot of the times when you get a simulator, you're just downloading like a license to play it, kind of like a we'll hold your spot kind of deal. And then you got to go on and
Mhm.
like download the actual game. And then you download the game, and then it's like, oh, we got a 100 gigabyte update you got to do. And you're like, what in the world, man?
Oof.
So you definitely want to, um, you definitely want to make sure you have internet and good internet too. Like I've got pretty decent internet here, and it took a while for it to download. So that's definitely what you should have. At least Windows 10. The higher the better. 16 gigs of RAM and 16 gigabytes of your GPU, and then as fast of internet as you can think of that you can pay for. So
basically going back to plugging Ethernet in, pretty much.
oh yeah. And that would actually be no matter what you have for speed, and this kind of gets into a different topic, so I'll keep it short, but anytime you have Ethernet or LAN, you're going to get better speeds because you're not having to go over the airwaves, right? Because your router gives off Wi-Fi, then you connect to it, and then it's going to go like this, up and down. But if you're plugging it in via Ethernet or LAN, it like bypasses all of that, and you're just getting raw internet. So it's the best of your internet world that way.
Folks could get into. Not really. I wouldn't really call that an aviation job, but building a flight simulator would be pretty cool. But you help folks get into aviation and help them get their foot in the door of whatever they want to do in aviation.
Well, this is correct. So aviation has a lot of opportunities, and so many of them require academic training and company training, but there are a few jobs that do require simulator training, and so this also includes pilots that get trained in simulators as well as air traffic controllers. But I'd also extend that to flight attendants. They also have simulator trainings for evacuations, and those are more like aircraft cabin mockups. And so you have a section of an aircraft, and some airlines have gone so far as to install their aircraft above a swimming pool, and so they do the full evacuation on water. They blow the slide, they jump down the slide into the water, and then get into the raft. So the flight attendants get that full evacuation experience with the water, which of course is ideal. When we did the simulator training, we had the cabin, and of course this was 25 years ago, cabin, and they had simulated smoke with some artificial red light to simulate a fire. And then so you'd have to find the fire extinguisher and put out the fire, and then evacuate the cabin. And then the cabin would just go out into like a gymnasium or that type of an area. We didn't have the swimming pool. It just wasn't set up that way. But we did have the full jump slide. So we'd have to take the stairs up and then jump down the slide. And we got to do that 2 times. It was just a blast. I had a lot of fun in simulator training. Yep. And so for those people that get simulator training, and no matter what career you're in, it's always a lot of fun. And it's more fun if you can do it in a group setting, because there's the idea is to overcome some emergency drills or situations that you may get in real life. And there are some scenarios that you may not be able to duplicate in a simulator. So like I was watching an aircraft crash, and the plane had tilted up to such a bank it couldn't get out of a stall. And it's in some of those scenarios, real life scenarios, don't get duplicated in the simulator training. They try to give the simulator training all kinds of scenarios that would play out in a real emergency. So for those people that have the opportunity to get simulator training, no matter what your occupation is, it's always a great experience to build resilience and the appropriate emergency response as a professional.
Yeah, that's really the only way you can do it, because if you don't make it as real as you can, and then they hit the real thing, like, we never trained for this,
Yeah.
So Like one time at my work, I asked a guy if he could grab a paperclip, and he goes, "What's a paperclip?" It's like, really? Like the one thing that my job didn't train me to know. Yeah, exactly. It's like if they only trained me to know how to describe what a paperclip was, right?
Yeah.
I have no. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. The History of Aviation podcast, you can find anywhere. We got a website. We got a store up and running there, Shae. You got that going for us. We appreciate that hugely.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go and the shower curtain will arrive soon. That should be fun. She'll be like, why is there a giant airplane on our shower curtain? It's like, just go with it.
I want one. I want one. Is that the History of Aviation shower curtain?
Yeah, the History of Aviation podcast shower curtain.
Oh, that's awesome.
We got shower curtains, mouse pads, desk pads, floor mats for bathrooms, clocks, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies.
All of it, yeah.
Yeah, anything that it said that I could do, I put that logo right on there.
Awesome. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and folks can go to our website at hoapod.com, and you'll see we've got a page there for our videos. We've got you can listen to episodes there, and you might be listening to this one there. And if you are, we appreciate it. Head to the store; it helps.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Am I leaving anything out? I don't believe so.
I don't believe so.
We're on all
fans?
this. You can go there. Not yet. You can go and you can go and watch all of our videos on TikTok, YouTube. We have full videos over on YouTube. You can find all those links in the description below. So the last thing I want to close with is Shae. Are you willing to give out your name on Flight Simulator so I can encourage people to come and troll you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't really have a name. I don't really play like with real people. I usually fly solo. Yeah, I don't think I'm willing to do that.
I was going to encourage a major troll just on you there. So just for fun, you know.
It's like, hey, I'll be flying. It's like, that looks like another plane. It's like coming right at me. Just dive bomb me, you know?
That is it. For Julien Martinson, Shae Jones producing, I'm Derrick Beeler. Thanks for listening to the History of Aviation podcast.